Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I am ecstatic to tell you that the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy film is doing just fine. Super Mario Galaxy is just crushing it, setting records already, including for Wednesdays in April, amongst other things. We're going to jump into the story, so stick around, because I got nothing but good news. Here we go. Now, if you're curious, I did see the movie early on, so double check that because I did do a review right up there. It's spoiler free in case you want to preserve your innocence through the weekend. But I will not refrain from telling you just how wrong the industry was. And before I do that, double check you're still subscribed. Make sure if not, you click the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell, turning on all notifications. Hit the thumbs up button. Get ready to comment. I want to hear your thoughts because according to our folks and friends over at Deadline and other outlets, it's a go again. That's right. Let's a go again. Super Mario Galaxy movie already breaking records with the best ever April Wednesday at 34 million. Not only that, it beat out the previous film. That's right. The opening day for the previous film was 31 million. This is 34 million. These numbers mean something, and that's why Anthony D'Alessandro over at Deadline is covering the story, saying, out of the gate, Illumination, Nintendo, Universal's The Super Mario Galaxy movie, that's a lot of words to string together just to say the Super Mario Galaxy movie, already is breaking records with a $34 million Wednesday. That's the best opening day so far, beating Amazon's MGM Studios' Project Hail Mary, which rang up 33.1 million Friday previews. It's also the best opening Wednesday in April, beating 2023's The Super Mario Brothers movie, again, also opened on a Wednesday. They did this intentionally, just like they did when they released the first film. It brought in 31.7 million, as I mentioned before. So keep in mind, no previews puffing up that figure, and that is amazing. The first chapter during Easter stretch of 2023 went on to post a 3-day of 146.3 million and a 5-day of 204.6 million, which was an all-time opening for Illumination. Note that forecasting a 3-day and a 5-day from this point is a bit tricky, and Uni sees sequel directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jeleni legging out a 128.3 million over 3 days and 186 million over 5 days, which would be the second best for Illumination. Sorry, even though it's lower than the first, they're still awesome by all-time box office standards. And the Rotten Tomatoes audience score on the Galaxy movie stands at 91%. And why do they delineate that? Because 91% is exceptional. That's right. It's really, really a good number. And here's a problem for them. The Critic scores came in at the 50 range. And boy, were they disingenuous from everywhere, from every corner, especially in the U.S. markets. Like IGN US with a terrible score at a 6 when they gave Elio, which was complete trash, a 9, and also gave the recent Hoppers an even, well, more ridiculous score for its quality. This one they gave a 6, whereas IGN in Brazil had a 9 on this. It tells you there is definitely something going on and something they don't want to be exposed. They don't want their pals over at Disney to come under the scrutiny that they absolutely deserve. They want people to not like a family-friendly entertainment film like Super Mario Galaxy to be as successful as the garbage they tried to peddle a month ago and are still trying to do through their favorite shills and bots on X and other platforms. Regardless, back to the story. Critics right now didn't like the first movie. They gave it a 59%. This one at 44% at the time that Anthony reported this. 44% is terrible. The sequel cost a net $110 million at max to the original's $100 million, so it was $10 million more expensive, but it was also 6 minutes longer. So you know, maybe that extra few minutes cost them that extra 10 million. Plus, hey, you know, it costs a little more if you have even more star power for your voice acting, which this film does. And I'm going to say it right now, if I didn't say it in my review video. Brie Larson has a rehabbed career because she did a wonderful, wonderful job as Rosalina, which is why, one of the reasons why you should see this. Not to mention Star Fox, which was the secret that was broken early by the studio. I have to tell you, Glenn Powell is perfect for. So when do we know if the sequel plays above 200 million in 5 days? Well, the trajectory for Super Mario Brothers went like this: a 16% dip on Thursday to 26.5, followed by a Good Friday spike at 106% to 54.8 million, followed by another spike on Saturday of 4% to 57 million, followed by Easter Sunday with an ease of 39%, which you should probably expect, to 34.5 million. Schools are off on Fridays, so everybody goes to see the movies, and you know what? They are. And this puts a little hoof in mouth for our friends over at IGN. I say the word friends a little loosely. The Super Mario Galaxy movie opening breaks box office records despite mixed critical response, which your outlet, Tom Phillips, is responsible for. And of course, it's stellar. The Super Mario Galaxy movie has already begun breaking box office records following its explosive launch into theaters yesterday, despite middling reviews. Yeah, which means don't listen to the critics. They are not the audience. The audience is the people who go to see things. People didn't go to see Hoppers in the numbers that they hoped for. Instead, they waited to see something good from Illumination, which is a studio that audiences have come to rely on and trust, unlike Disney, which anything Disney is not to be trusted, especially for family fare. What a shame. It used to be the opposite of that. But Nintendo's blockbuster sequel earned $34 million in the U.S. on Wednesday. Deadline reported that, which I just reported to you. It's better than any film released so far in 2026. I don't know if anything beats this as far as an opening for a little while this summer, but we'll see. Could Spidey do better? Maybe. I'm not sure. Could Dune do better when we get to the end of the year? Maybe. I'm not quite sure. What I do know is Project Hail Mary continues to be in theaters and will still get the kind of traffic it needs to be a wildly successful film for Amazon. Also revealing the secret path to the audience, which is just tell a good story with a hero's journey and don't care about the political nonsense that Hollywood is trying to force down your throats. At least that's my opinion. And speaking of my opinion, we've got to take a look at what's coming from the weekend preview from Box Office Pro. That's right. The preview is interesting because Super Mario Galaxy is a star player, or the star player in this case. And of the top 3 movies at the domestic box office, April 3 to 5, Super Mario is going to be number 1, opening range between 130 and 145, and yet I think it'll be much higher. I think, especially with a global opening, this thing could approach 300 million or even 350 million, as has been said by other outlets. So as we continue moving through it, you can definitely read through this article for yourself. With the only cons being, if there is any problem here, it is growth. After a strong start in pre-sales, similarities to last year's A Minecraft movie, Super Mario Galaxy is instead reaching its opening weekend at a similar pace to its predecessor. And when you have a sequel like this, the studio is chasing infinite franchise potential. So while Mario isn't free-falling like the animated Lego franchise, current signs show a plateau forming that may be detrimental to the long-term. $200 million 5-day performance is still possible, but that would be the ceiling. Well, at least that's what they say. And look, I'm just going to say it this way. The article goes on to talk about, in glowing terms, Project Hail Mary, which is still going to say at the top and probably finish in number 2 position for the entire weekend. Finally, there really isn't anything appealing about the other new offering, the drama. A lot of people think Zendaya is a one-trick pony. I'm one of those people, and I feel like its opening range of 10 to 15 million is overblown. But hey, those are my opinions on the strong start for what we've gotten so far out of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. If you think that this film can crack $300 million global box office this weekend, let me know that. If you think it cracks 350, let me know that. I might even put up a poll. I just know that everybody who's seen this movie so far that I've interacted with has enjoyed it. And while not a cinematic masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, it's definitely a solid kids movie with an 8 out of 10 score that will satisfy nearly anybody who has familiarity with the games. On that note, I'll say it this way, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands because it's good hygiene, and of course check out that garden place, which the channel's doing well. Thanks to all of you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Until next time, see ya. Hopefully at another showing of Super Mario Galaxy, the movie.